Greetings, family. Let me take this opportunity to welcome everybody to the show. You are so blessed to be with us live with Chatufa. We are still alive and still standing and believing God for the freedom of the Zimbabwean people. We are watching whatever is happening in the nation and updating each other on what is going around as we are going towards the freedom of the people of Zimbabwe. Freedom is this season and the freedom is now, because we can see that the enemy of the Zimbabwean people has reached their final end. A lot is happening, and we are seeing a lot of miscalculations. We are seeing a lot of wrong decisions, a lot of panic also that is happening within the camp of the enemy. We are today discussing the issue of MNANGAGWA and ZANU PF, who have come under heavy criticism for furthering borehole projects over piped water. So we see ZANU PF Varakashi coming out, praising MNANGAGWA for the project of borehole water that is about to start. And a lot of noise is being made in the social media and on propaganda platforms of ZANU PF. And it is just so surprising to us to wonder, and we wonder that, in this time and age, we still have ZANU PF still trying to pull people back into the stone age and still wanting to talk about boreholes instead of taking the country further to also compete with the developed countries of the world. And another issue that we are seeing also on the very same issue is that Nick Mangwana has been too verbose and talkative, to the point that he has even exposed MNANGAGWA, that MNANGAGWA is taking government money and is converting it into his own presidential schemes that is going around for the sake of campaigning. And, we have always been saying, we don't know why ZANU PF is campaigning. Something is up the sleeve. Why is ZANU PF in a campaigning mode? What is happening? What is it that ZANU PF knows, which probably we don't know? This is one of the reasons that MNANGAGWA is taking taxpayers' money and using it for his own agendas to try and, propagate his political standing. But it is not working, because every time that he does something, somebody again within ZANU PF will come and expose them. So we have seen quite heated arguments going on, even on social media, over the issue of MNANGAGWA's projects. And ZANU PF Varakashi have been making noise, thinking that they are grandstanding over it, but Zimbabweans are not receiving it. So this is ZANU PF patriots, and they are saying Zimbabwe National Water Authority, ZINWA, is set to launch a presidential boreholes drilling scheme aiming to provide solar-powered boreholes for 35,000 villages and 9,600 schools, plus extra boreholes for youth horticulture projects in each ward. So this is the post that they've given, and Zimbabweans have not received this with joy. It has actually been very, very criticized by many, many Zimbabweans. It is so amazing why ZANU PF would want to continue to talk about boreholes. Why is ZANU PF afraid of embarking on projects that bring piped water, which is water that is properly carried to the houses of the people, right into the homesteads, and people can be able to use that water, especially when we are looking at the way the world is developing. We cannot still be talking about boreholes, solar-powered boreholes. No, not at this stage. But ZANU PF, being ZANU PF, they always think analog. They are always back there where we came from. And these are not the leaders that we need. So we have seen also Nick Mangwana coming out, and he made a statement that has caused even more damage to whatever ZANU PF patriots had started. And also Fadzai was also coming to comment on the same issue, and she says, you don't read. Nick Mangwana already confirmed that it is taxpayer funded, right? So this is the tweet of Mangwana. He says it's an immediate solution to the provision of potable water to those without. There is nothing wrong with providing people with underground water. Many countries get their water from underground aquifers. It's a presidential scheme funded by the fiscus, right? This portion is the portion that has made noise. While he was speaking here, saying it's an immediate solution and there's nothing wrong with providing underground water, he was responding to people that were criticizing him because of this issue. So there was a lot of sharp criticism really that came from the citizens. And as he was responding, he made a gross error of even mentioning that this is taxpayers' money and people are on his neck. And Mnangagwa, somebody was even suggesting that Mnangagwa must simply get rid of Nick Mangwana, because Mangwana is just, making error after error every other day. So our issue really is ZANU PF does not want to see Zimbabwe developing into a competitive nation when we compare it with other countries. We have other countries in Southern Africa that have since moved away from the issue of boreholes. We are seeing piped water being the thing, the in thing now. We cannot continue to be having people that are thinking of, the Stone Age. ZANU PF, they don't do things wholeheartedly. This is the problem with Mnangagwa and ZANU PF. They never do their things wholeheartedly. When they do whatever they do it for other reasons other than serving the people. So this is not about serving people. This is about them. This is about their name. This is about grandstanding. This is about political expedience. This is about personal benefit, not even the benefit of the people that they are talking about as beneficiaries in this instance. This is why they do their half-baked jobs every time. If ZANU PF was sincere, they are supposed to be at a developed stage now of providing piped water to citizens, communities, to irrigation places, irrigation areas, whatever, even farms. We're supposed to be now having piped water going into all those areas. But we still have a government that still is talking about, Scott Sakupkwanya still talking about bringing balls into Kwazana, into Harare suburbs. Just imagine, for that matter. And it is so sad. We can't have a leadership like this. There is totally nothing that these guys will ever do that makes sense. So I just want us to look at the responses that we saw as citizens giving when it comes to this issue. So a citizen, Dewa says, Ndava kills me. Ndava is talking about Ndava Ning, who is Nick Mangwana. He says many countries get their water from underground aquifers. Where did he want them to get it from? The next aid is just something else, right? Chatonga says, Madofo advocate, CNI now, right? Someone says, Your Excellency, I trust you well, sir. Please remove Mr. Mangwana to a different portfolio. He does more damage than good on this platform. Mbama says, I wonder why you are believing Nick this time. Contractor says Varakashi will just respond without reading and understand the origin of the post. If Nick tells them that ED is not married, they will just defend, right? You see, somebody is now describing exactly the behavior and the attitude of ZANU PF supporters, right? Francis says, it's our money, Nick. Mnangagwa just received a confirmation from Nick Mangwana that you are stealing our money and using it to fund your so-called presidential scheme. Can you please stop stealing? We need better hospitals, schools, better supply systems, not balls. Exactly. That is very, very true. Artisan says donated funds. So indeed, people continue to speak about funds that are being mishandled, funds that are being, used in places where they are not supposed to be used, because ZANU PF just takes themselves as the final end and the entity, the de facto men on the last stage to discuss or to decide anything that has to do with the nation of Zimbabwe. And it is so unfortunate that when we have leadership like this, the nation will never go ahead. These are issues where the government needs to be meeting people and discussing with communities to find out exactly what is it that they need. There are some communities that don't even need to talk about boreholes because they have water reservoirs, they have natural water reservoirs all over, where they can be having programs where dams can be, or maybe huge facilities for water piping can be done. Mountains can be turned into very huge tanks, water tanks that can supply communities and water is there 100%. You don't have to worry about the weather. The solar panels did not charge batteries and things like that. This is the thing of the past. Probably where we get to places that are very, very remote and maybe there are no water bodies there, this is where we can expect maybe these other schemes to be done there. Not in the CBDs, not in Harare, not in cities, not in towns, not in growth points. No, the country is supposed to be delivered from these people who have no clue whatsoever on issues that have to do with the development of the country. So when you look at it, somebody was even saying, if we look at that money which Nick Mangwana is saying, it is taxpayers' funds. If you look at the money that could have been taken right from the government coffers to this very scheme, you would find that 3/4 of the money has been taken. They will have inflated all those figures that are used there for buying that material that is needed for those projects. It will be inflated maybe 100 times. And then only a small portion, a small 2%, probably 3% of the money that has been taken there will be used for that. That is just for, just for makeup reasons, just for people to see that at least there is something that has been done. But otherwise, the grand plan of Mnangagwa obviously is about looting. It's about looting. So if they would put money to good use, I'm telling you, and they would start to embark on piping the water, those projects would take a lot of money. And ZANU PF and Mnangagwa, they don't want to see money going in the direction of the citizens. That one they don't want. When more money goes in the direction of citizens, they feel so jealous, they feel so angry. But they would rather have a very, very small pipe that drives or that takes money towards citizens, and the whole huge pipe comes into their pockets. And this is what is happening in the country. And it is unfortunate. This is why we are saying we don't need ZANU PF anymore. We need our country to be freed from these people. We cannot continue to have all these projects. When you hear Mnangagwa talking about projects, ZANU PF talking about projects, just know that all those are schemes of stealing money. It's just corruption after corruption. Wherever they go and they put their feet on the ground and say, we have done this on this very place, go back and check if there could be people that could come up with the statistics, the correct records of the monies that were really withdrawn initially for that whatever that they've done. You'll be so shocked to find that 3/4 of the money has just disappeared, and only a small portion is what reaches the ground, and that is what is happening. So it's an enrichment process, and all these shenanigans that they are talking about is just Mnangagwa making himself rich. This is why this guy was saying, even if Nick Mangwana would say Mnangagwa is not married, they will still stand and start supporting it, because they don't think, Varakashi, they don't think Mnangagwa is destroying the currency of the country right now as we speak. He's speaking about things that are unheard of. But you would hear Varakashi and all the propaganda of ZANU PF hailing his name and praising his name. Yet, at the end of the day, everyone suffers because of that situation. The economic situation right now is affecting everyone, whether you are ZANU PF or not. But Varakashi would rather make noise for a man who is destroying our own livelihood, who is making life difficult for ourselves and even for the generations that are coming. Instead of them saying, no, this guy is getting out of hand, we could still get rid of this guy and have a better leader coming in there. People of ZANU PF must teach themselves to, to appreciate what is classic, and they must shun chaff. That's the problem. ZANU PF people don't know to separate chaff from class. They just combine these two things together. It's a high time the people of ZANU PF must learn to stand for what is correct and what is right, not just politics. Because at the end of the day, the pressure and the pain when it comes after things have been destroyed, systems destroyed, it is going to affect everyone at the end of the day. So we are not helping ourselves by just supporting for the sake of supporting. ZANU PF people, I always say, they are like supporters of football. Supporters of football, they don't care. If you are a Highlanders supporter, even if Highlanders can be beaten 7-0, somebody will still say Highlander ngengani. They don't care. Even Dynamos is beaten 21. they will still say, you see, that's how they behave. But the country cannot go far if we behave like that. We need to start to, self-introspect and start to ask ourselves as citizens, what do we want for our country? What is it that we need? And I'm telling you, if we do that, you will find that our needs and our wants are the same from both sides. The side of those that want change and the side of those that are supporting ZANU PF, you will find that we have the same needs and we have the same wants. But ZANU PF would rather sacrifice our needs and our wants for the sake of political grandstanding, which is wrong. Which is wrong. If we could come and really put our needs and our wants on the ground, you will find that what the opposition member wants and what the ZANU PF member wants is the same thing. We all need good life. We all need cheap food. We all need a working economy. We all need hospitals that are functional. We also need roads. We all need electricity. There's nobody who say, no, I would rather stay in the darkness as long as it is ZANU PF in power. They will still need electricity in their houses. So why are we not finding ourselves on a common ground for things that we say, these are things that we all need, despite our different camps we are coming from? So if anyone comes and is attacking the very needs and the very wants that we have, we will defend our needs and our wants, not even looking at where this person could be coming from which camp the other person is coming from. If Zimbabweans will start to have that kind of mentality and we change the way we think, we support the thing that is right, we oppose the thing that is wrong. What is good, what is wrong is wrong. You remember, family, last time I was talking about it and I was saying I was supporting myself here. I was supporting Benson Matinyarara and Matigari, ZANU PF apologists, but I was supporting them and they said, kudos guys, when they were supporting the issue of Starlink. Because that is our need. We need that Starlink. It works good for both of us, whether they are that side and we are on the other side. But the truth is, it helps life for everyone. And that is the truth. And Varakash and ZANU PF people must move from just politicking and start to look at what helps the country. And at the end of the day, we will have a functional country. So this is what we are talking about today. And we are saying we should never tire to pray for our country. Let's continue to pray as we are in the season of change. We are in that season that God is delivering the nation of Zimbabwe. All we need is intercessors to continue standing in the gap, to continue to call upon the name of the Lord, for we are getting closer and closer to the deliverance of the nation. And God is in it and God is working. Gogongube says, boreholes kumushawedu way. We want running water in towns like yesterday. Yes, that is very, very true. Yes. And she says, Taneta ni buckets in my bathroom. Just imagine, there are some people that are, are sick and they are weak. And they have to be carrying buckets of water from long distances, from boreholes and the like, carrying it again to wash your body and the like, carrying it again to water your vegetables. Guys, no, come on. ZANU PF must just go, man. These people have just failed us. Guy says, ngabve azvitadza mukuru because kuba too much. Ungati wagonzi kuisa maboho mutown. Yes, you can't be talking about putting poles in it. It's an insult to the Zimbabwean people. I'm afraid that almost all projects that ZANU PF embark on do not materialize. One electrification project in Chipingo in 2023 remains a mental picture only. The community still is gone without. Yes, this is that one, we know it. That one, this is why I'm saying they are just politicking. These guys are not there to deliver anything for the sake of the nation. Never. They are not doing anything. Bramike, how are you? He's saying, good evening, Chatufa family. Thank you very much. And my sister Memory God says, good evening, family. Thank you very much for being on the show. Yeah. Unokunda wasmith nokuti location tawe ne piped water. Yes, piped water used to be everywhere. They inherited a country that was functioning, these guys. And then they just destroyed everything. Sewer systems were working. Piped water was everywhere. And today, instead of fighting to restore piped water, they are rather taking the country back to the Stone Age by starting to bring in boreholes. They want Zimbabweans to shift their mind from developing and going back again to start to think about boreholes in cities and in growth points. We are not going to accept that. But otherwise, let us continue to pray for the nation, and we believe in God for the new blue train. The blue train is coming, bringing freedom to the Zimbabwean people, and our country is definitely going to be freed. We are going to be meeting again, family, in the next show on the main channel at Chatufa Television Production, where we are going to be talking about the state of the Mpilo Hospital. It is in a very, very devastating state. And we are going to be looking into that and how the citizens are challenging Douglas Mombeshora, the Minister of Health for ZANU PF, over the state of the hospital of Mpilo. So let us meet in the next show. We shall be together and we continue to discuss. Otherwise, I leave you at this juncture. Shalom, shalom. Remain blessed. Love you all.